Hi, my name is Chris Davis, and by profession, I'm a management consultant. I'm also a husband and a father. And about 20 years ago, I got intrigued by something called non-dualism. And it was introduced to me in a book by a man named Wayne Lickerman. And he uh, gave a little example that when I was reading really struck me. So I'm gonna share the example that he had all those years ago. And he took a tissue and said, imagine this is the universe. So we go all the way back, and here's the Big Bang. So it's all this point, and it explodes out in the Big Bang, and it eventually creates different galaxies and stars and solar systems and planets. And on some planets, life emerges, and it evolves for a billion years. And finally, you have up here, you have Henry. And Henry's looking around and says, I'm unique, I'm me, I'm an individual. But if you notice, Henry is still a part of the entire tissue. It is all just one tissue. And that little analogy really got me because I had not considered that perspective before. What if it is all one? Could that be true? And what does it mean? How does it change life for us? So that began a question for me. I wasn't going to buy it, but I was going to take seriously, and I did take seriously, could that be so? And a good friend pushed me and said, if you're going to explore this, invite others into it and do it together. And so I started inviting people into gatherings that we would explore these questions together. No one is a teacher in this. This purely let us all explore and explore for ourselves. And over the course of these 20 years, this perspective of the tissue has become clearer and clearer to me and had a really positive impact on my life and lives of a lot of people I know. So non-dualism is that view that it's all one, that reality is all one. It shows up to us as different people and different things, but at a deeper level, it is all one unified whatever. You can't even name it because it's all one. I mean, name it, but it's just a name. So that's what's meant by it, and it shows up in all kinds of different traditions, sometimes under different names. But that is the underlying view. Now, what is so? We can say that. You can say, well, it's kind of interesting, but what does it mean? Like, how does that change things? Yeah, what's not disappeared for me is living in this world of stuff that's still here, but how it shows up, what it means, and particularly how I relate to it all is what has shifted over this time and continues to shift. It's an ongoing process, at least for me. What's some examples of that? Well, if it's all one, then the idea that I'm acting totally separately from everything doesn't actually make sense. That whatever I do must actually be an expression of everything, and everything others do is an expression of everything. So this fixation on how am I doing goes way down, and the fixation on how are others doing goes way down. Now we still have to coordinate together, so we're going to do all that stuff, but beneath it or behind it, I can recognize that's me over there. Even that jerk cutting me off in traffic is me. Even that guy ordering the invasion of Ukraine is me. That is, we are all that which is the same. We are that one. And out of that, then, the moods of life that we live in start to shift. I find fear dropped tremendously, anxiety and fear, because it's all the unfolding. It's not me up against the universe. It's the universe. Guilt dropped. What terrible things did I do in my past? Well, and this will sound a little weird, it wasn't me. It was the universe. Now, that doesn't mean I don't go and make apologies and make amends. I do, of course. But I also know that ultimately it was all an expression of the whole. I don't worry that I don't make a difference because I know that there's no separate thing here making a difference or not making a difference. So these are all examples of how what I found has shifted over the course of of getting into this perspective. Um, if I put it in just a single phrase, I would say that life is inherently delicious. I think that's the natural state of life, but we're blocked from it much of the time because of these moods like fear and anxiety and guilt and shame and hopelessness. And those moods, which are all ultimately rooted in a view that we are separate from everything, cause us to lose touch with the deliciousness of life. They cause us to suffer. And it's getting free of those moods that allows the deliciousness of life just to come back and be here again. So that's what I've seen in my exploration so far. And as I say, I think exploring, looking for oneself is the most important thing to do here. Um, I'll share my explorations, and I welcome you to join in along the way. Thanks for listening.